Hey everybody, it's time for another update on my Perfect Grade Strike Gundam. I do call it the Strike Grun because Grun is green in German, and this is going to be a green Strike Gundam, so just so you guys know. Anyway, it's been a while, so where are we at now? We have a completed Strike Gundam frame now. All done, finally, painted, put together. And I can breathe a sigh of relief that this part is over now. So this was the first big hurdle of this project. Is now over and done with now. Inner frame is done. I've started working on the external parts for this now. As you can see, I got the feet on here. They are painted up, decaled, and top coat and everything. They're on there. And there's a few other smaller pieces I have on here as well. So that should be closed up there. And I tried to get this guy on a little bit of a pose on my rotating stand here. He's really big, but I managed to kind of get him on here and in frame, because he was standing, he would not be in frame because he's really tall. So anyway, I can see here the whole top portion of the Gundam is now done. Arms, torso, head, all painted up and all put together here. In addition, I have done the pilot figures here. You can see the standing pilot figure I have here. It's done. You can get a little bit of a look at this here. So it is a female pilot figure, so it's some sort of a nameless female pilot here, I guess, whatever name you can think of for her. I painted her suit in green and sort of gray and black to basically match the eventual color scheme of the Gundam itself here. She turned out into a little bit of a redhead as I was working on this here, but that's okay with me. But this is all done. I glued this little piece of plastic on the bottom here so she can stand up better than not having it on there. So the scale of this little standing figure, I noticed, is a little different from the scale of the figure that's actually inside the cockpit here. This cockpit figure is a little bit smaller in scale than the standing figure, which is a little weird, but I guess there's not really anything I can do about that. So, but yeah, this part is done. I'm starting on the external parts here, primering, prepping those, and doing base colors on those. Basically, my process for external parts is I sand and prep them, then I primer them, and then I do my base color coat on them. Then I'll probably do any sort of detail painting I got to do on them. Then I'm going to put a gloss coat on them with the acrylic gloss coat, panel line, then a final top coat on them here. Now when I was doing this, I was kind of debating on if I should do any sort of weathering or sort of a wear or tear on the external armor parts, and I kind of got to thinking about it. This is phase shift armor, and it is pretty much impervious to any sort of physical damage, so it doesn't really make any sense that I would have nicks and dings and scratches on it. So it's going to come out very clean looking. And I was also deciding what sort of top coat I should use. Originally I was going to use a matte top coat, but as I was kind of experimenting with it, I kind of didn't quite like the look of it on the large kit, so I went with a semi-gloss. So the external parts are going to be semi-gloss. They're going to be a little shinier than you probably are used to seeing on a kit, but I think semi-gloss is going to look better on this here. These feet are all done up the way they're supposed to be right now, so that kind of gives you a good idea of what it should look like. So I have started painting on the exterior parts for the legs and everything. Those have been base painted. I just got to do the detail painting on those, and then another coat and panel wash on those. Water slide decals have been going on these feet here. They went on pretty well here. No real problem with those. They're a little thin, but that's actually okay because they blend in with the top coat pretty almost perfectly. So there's no issue there here. So let me show off a little bit of articulation of the upper body here. So I will cut back in just a moment here. Okay, and I'm back here, and we got the upper body a bit closer here to the camera here, so you can kind of see a little better what some of the detail and what's going on here throughout the kit here. So yeah, this I did run into a bit of a delay, almost a month-long delay while I was working on this. Unfortunately, I just got too bogged down with work and stress, and I got sick for a little bit, and then the Real Grade Unicorn came into my possession, and I spent a couple weeks on that. So that's why I'm actually kind of behind on this here, I would say here, because I I originally wanted to get this entire Gundam done before the ZZ Verka comes out, and that's going to be in really only a couple weeks here. So I'll probably be getting that kit probably sometime in the first week of October, I would say. So probably not going to have all of this done by then, but I'm going to try. So but anyway, let's show off a little bit of articulation here. I got the light on in the head here, as you can see here, and the faceplate's all painted and everything. So he can bend back his head about that far here, pretty good here actually, and can look down like so. Head, no real problem moving around, excellent. It's just on a ball joint. Moving on to this torso here. Now there are the opening panels parts on here. They aren't really attached completely, but they will slide out a little bit here. I don't want to pull them out completely. The cockpit here, the little front flap will open up like so, and the easiest way I found to do is just grab this thing and pull it. That just brings the whole cockpit module out. This bottom piece opens up, and the little monitor flap will sit up. I don't know if you can see in there. It's kind of hard because I don't really have a light behind me for this here, but the pilot figure's in there. It's all detailed up. I'll probably just show you a couple pictures of that. It'll be easier because they'll be apart anyway. But pilot figure's all painted up. The cockpit area is all painted up and detailed everything, so it looks pretty good. There are these little clear pieces that are kind of on the side of the torso. They start kind of in the vent area, and they kind of channel into the sides of the cockpit area. I guess they're supposed to focus light in there, but they don't really work that well. I did paint them up, so it's probably part of the reason why they don't light up in the cockpit too well, but in terms of light piping, they don't really work that well, so I wouldn't really count on those to actually light the cockpit up at all. So there's kind of there. But anyway, back to the torso here. It has some pretty nice range of motion on it here. You can bend side to side about that much here. You can rotate like so. I mean, it's not completely in. Yeah, this piece here not completely attached in. It's just sort of kind of sitting in there. That's why it fell out. But anyway, back and forth on this. It's not. You probably could get it to go completely around. Just kind of play around with it. It doesn't really have to go all the way around, but it turns far enough at the waist here to basically do whatever it needs to do. Back and forth bend. Can bend forward about that much here. Bend back about that much here. So pretty good, I'd say. So onto the arms here. Arms can actually turn up pretty well. You might want to move the head a little bit to the side here for that, but you can stretch up about that far here, so not bad. In addition, you do want to have a little bit of an extra reach. This little wrist piece can move back and forth as well, like that. So you can have a little bit more reach with the hand at the top there. I don't know if I can get any more range with that. Maybe a little bit more if I have to pull that flap out. Just a little bit here. The sort of opening armor things are going to be on the shoulder here. These flaps on the front, they open up, and the clamp will come up. This little thruster will pop out, flip out like so on the shoulder here. And that's what you got going on there. Rotate around, no problem there. Rotates down at the cuff here in the shoulder area. And you already saw the lift there. Now, shoulder clavicle joint, it'll move forward about that much, which is pretty good. And it can hold the poses pretty well here. Elbow joint pretty much works like so. It bends more, probably more than 90 degrees down here at this bottom joint, and not so much at this top joint. There are some parts that slides back in the back here. You can see that right there. And this piece in the front moves ever so slightly out when you do that. It just moves very slightly out when you do that, because these parts back and front are connected together via a hinge. So I expected this to move more, but it doesn't. It just moves very, very slightly on that front side. Now down here in the wrist here, like I mentioned, this wrist can move back and forth this way. It will bend up like so, like that here. So pretty nice here. All those chrome pistons are kind of inside of here. They're kind of hard to see, but they're in there. And the hand here is a fully posable hand. This probably took, the hands probably take the most amount of time to work on, because there's all these individual parts on here. You have to kind of make them as flat as I can, and it's kind of a pain in the butt because it's half hard plastic and half polycap plastic, and the polycap stuff does not like to sand down or smooth out at all, so I just kind of did the best I could with it and painted these. Had to do about a few different coats, that way I can get inside the joints and everything while I'm doing it. So, but overall it came out okay. It came out better than I expected it to, so no real problem moving the fingers around. They don't really fall out that easily here. You have to kind of really tug on these to pull them out, so they're actually still all together pretty well here, so they still articulate without any hindrance from the paint here, so this is really good here. And last thing here is probably this back area here. Just lift this up ever so slightly, and then this piece on the back will come down like that. And it makes it a little easier to get this little back flap out, this back hatch here open, because that's where the sky grasper will connect in through there. So if you have a hard time getting this out, you just pop this up and flip that down and try and just push that out. So it works. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for the update here. I hope you enjoyed looking at this here, because I'm pretty happy that this part of the project is done with now here, and I can start moving on to what the actual outside of this kit is going to look like here. So as always, if you don't know about, be sure to check my about section in the bottom of the video. There will be a link to my massive image gallery of the Strike Gundam project so far here. You can see the box, you can see the manual, you can see all the part runners before I work on them, and you can see all the work in progress pics down there if you want, including a lot of high definition photos and everything. So you can just sort of take in the internal frame detail here before it all gets kind of hidden away with the external armor and everything here. So anyway guys, leave a like the video as always, and have any comments, leave them below, and subscribe. What more is there to say? Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next time in the next update, which hopefully will not take quite so long to get to, but we'll see here. I know I have some other kits on the way here that I'm probably going to be working on that will sidetrack me, but we will see how it goes here. Alright, see you guys next time. Bye bye.